Hi there, I'm Clifford Bates, and welcome once again to reading Aristotle's Nicomachean Ethics. Today we're continuing Book 8, the discussion, Book 8 and 9, which are friendship, but looking at today Book 8, Chapter 7. So let's go turn to it, okay? It's over here. Let's go turn to it. A different form of friendship that is based, a different form of friendship that is based, okay. A different form of friendship is that which is based on a superiority. Therefore, this is the kind. There's previous kind was a view of based on equality, right? There was this idea of reciprocity or equality, right? The first, this three, but here's another type of friendship that is based on superiority. For example, the friendship of a father for a son, and in general, an older man for a younger, a husband for a wife, and every ruler for one who is ruled. So this is this idea here that there's a superiority, or one is something greater than the other. Or uh, now this is the question: is something there was the relation is not equal, right? This is about a friendship of there's one equal. There's one type of friendship that deals with the kind of things have to be unequal. In fact, this is why there was a problem about rulers, right? In the previous thing, we had a discussion about rulers cannot be that it wouldn't work. It would be, there is this equality. This friendship at one level is kind of equality, but there's another form of friendship that is what based on a kind of superiority, right? And we an example of father for friendship of father for son or parent for child, right? A father for a son, and in general, an older man for a younger, a husband for a wife, and every ruler for one who is ruled. These friendships differ from one another as well. So, therefore, in other words, it's not going to only be the this is one type. Yeah, this is a kind, but in there's differentiations from one another as well. Okay, uh, 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 these friendships differ from one another. In other words, the friendship of parent for their children is not the same as that of rulers for ruled. So therefore, the friendship that there's a distinction between parent-child, ruler and ruler. They're kind of similarly friendships of the superior, but they differ in kind. Yet the friendship of a father for a son is not even the same as that of the son for the father, nor is that of a uh, nor is that of a husband for a wife the same as the wife for a husband. So therefore, it's um, okay. Let's think about this for a second. He's saying, well, okay, the first of all, ruler ruled parent child, but let's go look at the parent child relationship. The parent child and husband wife, husband wife. These are the kind of three thing: parent child, ruler ruled, um, husband wife. Now, there's another thing. There's the husband, the question of the friendship of a child to a father. So therefore, the father to the son, the relationship of father to the son, is not the same. He's saying as it differs in kind in that sense, as will be the case of the wife to the husband, right? Husband, wife. They're not the same. For each, for in each case, there is a different virtue and work involved. And different too are the reasons why they love each other or have affection for each other, uh, 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 love each other or have affection for each other. Um, so therefore, this is the interesting argument here that there is a different reason. It's not, in other words, it's not an equality. They're not loving each other for the same reason. That the virtues are different, and that the reason they love each other will be or have affection for each other will be different. Or okay, so therefore, and why they have affection or love for each other. Both the feelings of friendly affection And the friendships then are different. So therefore, the reason why they feel something, why they have this affection towards this person, why they feel this affection, okay, this friendly affection, and the relationship is different from each other in that sense. In terms of the thing in question, why they have this affection, and the friendship that happens is different. Okay, in each case, therefore, ruler, the ruler ruled parent child, father son parent child, um, a ruler ruled husband wife. The relationship is then versed opposite, particularly husband wife. Doesn't mention ruler, ruled ruler. Doesn't mention that. That's silent. Um, but it mentions child parent and wife husband, right? So these are the things that both the feeling of friendly affection and the friendship is for each one is different. Each person therefore does not come to possess the same things from the other, nor ought each to seek the same thing. So therefore, you're not going to get of these relationship types, of these friendships, these kind of friendships, you're not going to get the same kind of thing from each other, nor should you ought to seek the same things. Okay? But whenever children render to their parents what they owe to those who have begotten them, and parents to their sons, 33, this is phrase omitted in the manuscripts, right? What they owe, what parents to their sons, what they owe to their children. So parents, what they owe to their children. The friendship of such people will be stable and equipment. In other words, if you this affection of this feeling of affection and friendship. In other words, if they give what they owe. In other words, what is due? What is due? What is due? In other words, what is the due of a child to a parent, and what is due to the from a parent to a child? There's this idea here. It will be stable and equitable, and in all friendships based on superiority. The feeling of friendly affection, too, ought to be proportional. For example, the better person ought to be loved more than he loves, and so also with the more beneficial person, and similarly with each of the others. In other words, the love is proportional. He's going to make the argument of superiority. Love is proportional. That therefore, the one who he says the friendly feeling of affection ought to be proportional, right? The better person ought to be loved more. In other words, the one that has the higher, this, as also, and so also with the more beneficial person. So the more powerful person, the one or the better person, the better one should have more affection. The one that has the better virtue should have more that should be loved more, and the one who's beneficial should be loved more. Similarly with each other. And whenever the friendly affection accords with merit, at that point equality somehow arises. So equality here seems to be proportional. As long as the it is that your affection level of affection should pair with the merit. So therefore, whenever friendly affection accords with merit, that is the point where equality arises, which of course is held to belong to friendship. So even in other words, friendship implies a kind of equality, even if it's and he's making point here that even when it's superior, the superior relationship, how do you get the equality is the proportionality of affection. But what is equal? But what is equal in matters of justice does not appear to hold similarly in the case of friendship. So therefore, what is equal in matters of justice, the discussion that we had in Book 5, doesn't really hold similarity here in a case of friendship. For in matters of justice, what is equal is first what accords with merit, and second what accords to quantity, right? Quantity. So therefore, the merit, the value of the thing, the merit of it is the first reason, but then the quantity, the number, right? The size of things. In the case of friendship, however, what accords with a certain quantity is first, and what accords with merit second. So therefore, he's making an interesting situation. Where in justice, merit is first, quantity is second. Here, in friendship, quantity is first, merit is second. Okay, and this is clear whenever a great difference arises between a friend in a point of virtue, vice, resources, or other things. For not only are the parties involved no longer friends, but they do not even deem themselves worthy to be. In other words, if there's the question here is that if they get too different in terms of their quantitative status of each other, they don't even see themselves as friends anymore, worthy of being friends in that sense. Um, this is most apparent in the case of the gods, for they exceed human beings in all good things to the greatest degree. So therefore, the gods, once you become so great in terms of the possession of the good things, in other words, this idea that if this person has great fortune, horrible fortune, misery, this becomes very difficult. Friendship breaks. The gods have all the beneficence of the goods, and it's very difficult for them to be friends with people who are less. Right? The argument goes. But this is clear too in the case of kings, right? The kings. For those who are much inferior to kings do not deem themselves worthy to be friends with them, and neither do those who are worthy of nothing with the best and the wisest. So therefore, this is the problem. That the people who have worth nothing, those who have nothing, worth nothing, they cannot perceive themselves as being as friends of people of the best and the wisest. That there is a gap here. It is a incommensurable. The differences, the qualitative differences here, the quantitative differences of their goods and their status, because of their good, the quantity of their goods or lack of goods, or lack of the good things, or these things, leads them in a situation where someone is worth nothing. These do not even deem themselves worthy as the inferior people. Those who are inferior to kings don't deem themselves worthy of kings in that sense, right? This is that uh, aspect of it. Now, this leads us to the second paragraph here. If we had one paragraph, if this was basically two paragraphs, right? No, one, two, three, and we're going to the fourth paragraph, last final paragraph in chapter 7. In these sorts of cases, then, there is no precise definition regarding the point up to which friends remain friends. That's the problem. There's no precise definition. For though many things may be taken away, the friendship will endure. But when someone is separated from the other to a great degree, as is the God, then the friendship no longer endures. In other words, there's a point. Friendship will endure up to a point where there becomes a gap that is in other words, they're separated to a great degree that they can't overcome that gap anymore. This is also why the perplexity arises as to whether friends perhaps never wish for the greatest good of their friends. For example, for them to be God, since then they would no longer be friends to them, and neither will they therefore be good, and neither will they therefore be goods, or for friends are goods. In other words, here's the perplexity. So that we want good for our friends, but we don't want them to be so good that they're beyond us. We wouldn't want them because why? He's saying that friends are a form of good, good, a beneficial thing, a better something beneficial, something. Again, this sounds very Machiavellian, where it's the you the time that you have friends in order to spend them, right? Pardon for the water, but the complexity of this problem is that this idea here that complexity rises that you want good things, but not too good. Because why? If they're too good, they're no longer going to be friends, and because the friends are a good. So if it has been nobly or beautifully said that a friend wishes for the good things for the friend, for his friend's sake, the friend would need to remain as whatever sort he is. In other words, we want them good. We want good things, but we want them to remain a friend. We don't want them to go beyond to a situation where we're so separated from each other. There's a gap that it's no longer possible for us to be friends in that sense, right? So it's beautifully said that a friend wishes for the good things for his friend's sake. The friend would need to remain as whatever sort he is, but he says to remain what he is. That as that sense, he can't go from something better. For the one friend will wish, okay, for the one friend will wish for the greatest goods for the other as a human being, not as God, but as a human being, and perhaps not all such goods, since each wishes for the good things for himself most of all. It's even more interesting. Aristotle says that although we wish good things for our friends, we would also wish good. We tend to wish each each since each wishes for the good things for himself most of all. Even though we wish good things for others, we still prefer ourselves, right? And he ends on this realization that although we wish good things for friends, a friend would wish good, but at the same time he does wishes good things most of all for himself. So this will explain why he won't wish. In other words, he says he wishes the greatest of goods as a human being, and that's one thing, and perhaps not all such goods. Therefore, you would not wish all the goods, right? Since you wish goods for yourself too, right? So this is the problem here. This is why the limits why you would not do this. He suggested. Okay, therefore we stop here. Please, if you have any comments, please put them below, or comments or questions or issues like this. Please, if you like it, hit the like button. Hit the like button. Um, uh, 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 hit the like button. Share it on social media. Share it on the thumbs up. The like button. Uh, 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 share it on social media, share it with your friends, email it, share it far and wide. If you've not subscribed, please consider subscribing. Please bring the channel to the attention of your friends and other people or people interested in these kind of topics, because it helps to grow the channel. As sharing it, and liking it helps the algorithm. Bringing more people, including growing of the channel, helps the algorithm. So please get so this gets more attention. If you didn't like it, you can always say no, but say thumbs down it. But you can always say why, please. Please say why, so we can understand what's going on, and maybe you can correct me if you're correcting me. I think I did something wrong. Other people can learn from it. Okay. Another thing you can do is you want to follow me on social media. The social media links are below. If you want to know more about me as a scholar and as a researcher and check out my research and things like that, you can do that in the academic social media links below, the social media links. Or if you want to help me to do what I do in this sense, do these things, videos, projects that takes time and energy, um, please put you can do so through the links to Subscribestar and Patreon that are below, or you can do so by buying one of my books. through Amazon, Barnes and Noble, or any online booksellers, or through your local bookstore if you want to do so, or you can order them from the publisher directly. Well, that's it. I'll let you guys go. Next time we look, we'll turn to chapter 8 on this discussion. See you there. Take care. Bye bye.